Okay, now we've seen that the different bulbs glow differently because they have different resistance. They oppose electrons differently. You know, everything has resistance. Everything opposes electricity to a little tiny degree or to an enormous degree. The stuff that's in the wires in your house, it doesn't oppose very much. But your body opposes electricity a great deal, but electricity can still flow through your body. And even pickles will conduct electricity. Let's look at how pickles actually conduct electricity and turn into light bulbs. I want to show you a really neat demonstration, a really neat experiment, which demonstrates how Christianity can make a difference in people. And I'm going to use a bottle of pickles to make this demonstration to you. Now, in this bottle of pickles, I got a great big old pickle here. Boy, he's really ugly, isn't he? You know, he's kind of an ugly pickle. But that pickle looks about like all the other pickles in here. You know, they don't look much different. All these pickles are about the same. Some of them a little bigger than others. I imagine they probably taste about the same, don't you? But I'm going to do something special to this pickle. And you know, that pickle's like people who are Christians. What happens is that this pickle's going to be tapped into a higher power. It's going to be tapped into something that will put energy into it to enable it to do things that it couldn't do of itself, that there has to be some outside source. And God has told us that we're like this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a fork, I'm going to stick it in one end of this pickle. There we go. I'm going to take another fork, I'm going to stick it in the other end of this pickle. There we go. So I've got two forks in the end of the pickles. And I'm going to put it over here in this little sling that I've made so that you can see the pickle sitting there between the two forks. And we're going to put some energy into this now. Just like God puts energy in our lives and helps us to do things that we couldn't do on our own. And so I'm going to put an electrical clip on one fork and an electrical clip on the other fork. And we're going to plug this in. So there is the person without Jesus. The power of Christ in our lives is going to be like what you see happen to this pickle. So watch what happens. Now look what happens. As the energy gets added to that pickle, all of a sudden that pickle looks a whole lot different than its buddies. Just like when a person becomes a Christian, their life looks a lot different than the things around them. And so this pickle I'm holding here right above it looks a lot different than that one. And you may not be able to see this one I'm holding very much, but I'll show them to you after we get done. And as long as that energy is applied, that pickle flashes and light comes out of it. That's just a plain old pickle. And look at what's happening to it. It's making a difference in the world around it. It's giving off light that other people can see. And when people become Christians, the same thing happens. Their life becomes different. And they are actually able to make a difference in the world in which they live. So when somebody says, what's different about Christianity? What's different about Christianity is that it changes people's lives. And instead of being a plain old ugly pickle, it becomes something that is light, that gives off light to everything around it, that flashes and sparkles and does good things for the people around it. So when you become a Christian, I hope that you'll be just like that. Now, what happens if I disconnect the energy? I've got the plug here. If we separate ourselves from God, the light goes out. And so you can see that the pickle that was sparking and giving off all that light doesn't look any different. Doesn't look much different now because it's no longer connected to the light source. But if I connect it back to the energy, it doesn't take very long, and all of a sudden, funny things start happening again, and it starts giving off that light again, and all kinds of interesting things take place, and the pickle will be very different than it was before. One thing I want to say to you, don't try to do this at home, okay? Because this could be very dangerous. You could hurt yourself. You could hurt something else. You could blow out all the electricity in your house. So don't try to do this at home. Just stay plugged into God. Okay, this is to see if you really understand electricity. This is Grandpa John's super duper hot dog cooker. Okay? And it's pretty simple. What I got here is a couple of nails with electricity that I can plug in. And I want you to tell me how I should set this up, because I want to cook these hot dogs. Do I cook the hot dogs by putting them across like that and like that? Or do I put them across like this and like this? Which way do you think will work? See, if I put them across like this, I'll set one here like that. If I put one like that and one like that, now that's a series arrangement. In order for the electricity to go through, it has to go through both hot dogs to get out. And the hot dogs will actually conduct electricity. So that's a series arrangement. On the other hand, if I put them like this, one like that, and one like that, then that's a parallel arrangement. So which way will be best? Now, if you figure that out, I hope you understand that across here, I've got this into a 110 outlet. So when I have the hot dogs arranged like that, they have 110 volts across each hot dog. If I put it across the two of them, then they're only getting half of that much. So I'll tell you what let's do. Let's try it, and let's see how well it works. And you watch how fast it cooks. Okay, look what's happening. Man, we're getting hot. Steam coming all over the place. Oh, it's starting to bubble. They're splitting open. Hey, we're ready to have hot dogs. Grandpa John's super duper hot dog cooker is working. Look at that. Wow. By the way, don't you try to do this. You cook them on the fire on the end of a stick. That's safer. But this works. All right, I'm going to unplug that. And they're hot. They're really hot. All right, let's look at what happens the other way. Whee! They're ready to eat. Get the ketchup. All right, we're going to stick them this way now. One like that. And one like that. Now remember, before what happened was we had 120 volts across each hot dog. Now we got half of that across each hot dog. And hot dogs have a lot of resistance. They're like those little bulbs. So it's going to be hard for the electrons to push through there. And we'll put it on here. Let you watch it. Don't know if you remember the last time or not, but almost as soon as I plugged it in, it started bubbling around the nails. Nothing happening here. And you know what? We could sit here like this for about 2 hours. And eventually it would get hot enough that they might be warm. But do you really want to eat a warm hot dog that's just barely warm? Or do you want to eat one that's been so hot that steam's running out of it and smoke's running out of it and it's ready to go? Series and parallel. How you hook things up makes a difference. So remember Christmas tree lights. And remember Grandpa John's super duper hot dog cooker. Works really well.